the beginning. So, what is aging to you, right? Aging, according to Ayurvedic medicine and according to yoga with a capital Y, is when this whole sophisticated mechanism of the human body, and this is the most sophisticated machinery that Mother Nature ever gifted us, much more so than our phone or our computer, right? When it gets jammed full of memories, that there is hardly any space left in your internal hard drive, that's when, because each thought that we think, and we think at least 100,000 thoughts in a day. It's the digital era, right? It's the information era. So yes, our mind is very busy coming up with thought and thought and thought. And some of those thoughts are emotionally charged. Some of them thoughts are negatively emotionally charged, especially the stress response thoughts. And those negatively charged thoughts produce a chemical reaction in our physiology. And the body has to store the chemical residue of that emotion somewhere in the human body. And welcome, everyone. Great to have you here. So, so any emotion that is not love, that is not positive emotion, they get deposited in the weakest region of our body. And Ayurveda tells us that we have what we call defective space inside of our body. It's called ka vaigunya in Sanskrit terminology. Ka means space, and vaigunya means defective. And why is it defective? Well, we have, this body carries the memory of not just this lifetime, but generations and generations of our ancestors are encoded in our DNA. And some of that DNA carries the defects of our ancestors. And so we have genetically vulnerable areas of our body. And so those toxins, those chemical residue of the negative emotions, they get lodged to the most vulnerable parts of the body. It may be your joints, it may be your arteries, it may be, a deeper like nervous tissue. So it's so important. That's why it's so important on a daily basis, on a regular basis, if it's not daily, to have a practice of, clearing out the internal memory drive of this human physiology. And it was an aha I had in Portugal while I was there, that, I was walking through the cobblestones in Portugal, and at certain pockets of Lisbon, I experienced like extreme negative energy. I was like, what happened here? And I would read about later on in the history book, like, this was the place where slave trade happened, or, like all these negative events happened. And I was just feeling the resonance of those negative historical events. And I thought, if the bricks and the stone walls of the city could hold negative memory, then what about a human body, which is so much more sophisticated, right? So it is so important to release the internal memory drive of our physiology on a regular basis. And this is why the physical yoga is so important. So I'm going to be showing you some stretches you can do without a yoga mat, without getting into your yoga gear and all that. Just at your desk, I have a chair here, some chairs here to demonstrate a few things, because in the yogic system, we have this understanding that the spinal cord, this is the most important highway, the highway of our human information system. The central nervous system is where all the major energy centers are. And in the joints between, the vertebra and vertebra, it's very easy to accumulate, calcification, just stiffness setting in, because those discs do not get vascular supply, right? Those kind of gelatinous discs, if you do not move the spine regularly in all the directions that the spine is able to move, then they don't get the cleansing they need. They don't get the fresh, fluid supply that they need. So I'm going to be showing you this kind of rolling through movements of the spine, like a cat or like a wave of the ocean, so that we address each and every space between the vertebrae, including the cervical vertebrae, and the very important juncture between your spine and your brain, the medulla oblongata area. And by doing this, you are learning to run the energy through the spinal highway in a sequential way, in a harmonious way, and also releasing the excess, we call in Ayurveda language, vata. Vata is air and ether elements. Vata is very drying. Dryness is the enemy of the nervous system, right? You know that the nervous system needs good quality oils. So this American fad of like no fat and no fat is not good, right? We need quality oils for nervous system. And as you get older, if you're above 40 or 50, it's so important to protect the hydration element of your physiology, because everything starts drying out after age 50. And so doing the lubrication movement is life-saving. All right, so I'm gonna show you, if you have a desk or a chair handy, I hope you can see that. Let me just get out of the way. Okay, there we go. So I want you to put your attention moment by moment in each area where the stretch is most felt. And in this way, see, when your conscious mind awareness, the linear awareness of your conscious mind touches and merges with the primordial awareness that is the cellular intelligence. When these two lights of consciousness, they come together, this is called yukta or yoga, right? Union. And when this happens, then the memory gets released. So the old memory gets released, and there is a healing that happens, there is a wholeness that happens, there is a rejuvenation that happens. So very simple moves, and it's not about the complexity or the advancedness of the move. It is the quality of the awareness moment to moment. So let's start with, right, so you have your table or chair in front of you. We're going to bend the knees and tip forward and put your hands on the desk or the chair. It would be good if it's, a higher chair if you have, like a desk height, right? And then walk your feet back until your heels are right underneath your sitting bones. So if you're tighter and you're not able to straighten the legs and keep a 90-degree angle at your hips, then bend your knees. First, you want to lengthen the hips way back and walk your hands way forward. Just by lengthening and creating more and more space in your spine, in your torso, you start to release some of that old memory held in the fibers. Now, on the inhale, we're going to straighten your legs. And on the exhale, we're going to curl the tailbone down and begin to stretch this lower back area. Now, take it to the sacroiliac joint, a very important place where a lot of people get back aches, right? Lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and then cervical spine. Weight over your hands. You're going to lean into the table. Hopefully, it's not going to move. And then lift your chest up like you're doing an upward dog. So you can press your heels down, get a good Achilles stretch, and fold out your hips again, and back to downward facing dog. Let's try that a little bit more fluidly, right? Inhale deep and exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, re-straighten your legs. Try to keep that 90-degree angle in your hips. As you exhale, you're going to roll through the vertebrae. And just put your attention exactly where you're feeling a stretch. I'm feeling it now behind my heart, behind my neck, at the juncture of spine and head. And now we're going to lean into that chair and take a little back bend. Exhale. My chair is not so stable, but let's try one last time. I exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, curl the tail under. Stretch the lumbar vertebrae. Round the middle back, stretch the thoracic. Releasing memory all the way up the spine. And lift your heart. Okay, now that we're here, let's take a little step forward with your right leg. How was that for you guys? Are you still with me? Okay, good. So now we're gonna go for stretching the hamstrings, because the legs connect with our adrenals, and this is the survival center of the body. And it's very important to see, we receive the energy from the earth, and the legs are the pillars that transmits earth vitality into the higher centers. So it's so important how you contact the earth. That's why yoga, we do barefooted, right? And so I'm just going to tilt this over so you can see. Okay, so let's release the hamstrings. So if you're standing like this, you're going to step back maybe 1.5 to 2 feet with your left foot, right? Bend the front knee and notice my back foot's at like a 45-degree angle. If you really want a strong calf stretch, you can turn your heel all the way back, and you can bring your hands to your hips and try to find your balance. right? Try to be barefoot so you can use, like, open your toes to, like, embrace the mat or the carpet or the floor that you're on. All right, so from here, we're gonna put your fingertips on the chair or on the table, and then see front knee is slightly bent. Now, try to cut the hip back and try to go for straighter leg. We're gonna alternate. Inhale, straight, exhale, bend. Right, inhale, try to go towards straightness, and hello, hamstrings, right? Exhale, bend. Good. Maybe you can come down a little further, like from your fingertips to your palms, or maybe into your forearms, right? And then inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Try to cut this hip back and square your hips. Exhale, bend. And this time let's go all the way straight and just hold that stretch. You're gonna feel the stretch in the calf Achilles of your back leg and the hamstrings of your front leg. And just breathe. Don't label the sensation anything. I be with the intensity. Can you get inside the sensation? And if you want, you can rest your forehead on the table, chair, whatever you've got. If you want to get fancy, you can bring your elbows like this on your table, prayer hands, and if you can wiggle your head inside your arms, this becomes a shoulder stretch too. That's a little advanced, and you don't have to do the fancy variation, but do what you can with what you've got, right? That is so important. Do what you can with what you've got. And then we bend the knee. We come out of that and then step the back foot forward. Right, so try the other leg. We got two legs, right? So first try to find your independent balance. So as we get older, this proprioceptive sense of the nerve endings of the feet get kind of dull. So it's so important to awaken. Each finger has 16,000 nerve endings. Each toe, right, has thousands and thousands of nerve endings. So use the intelligence of your feet to root deeply and firmly and really feel like you're giving the energy to the earth. And as you give energy to the earth, she gives it back, and it's rising, rising. If you want to do the classic pose, go ahead and do that, because this is a wonderful, see, each asana, each classic yoga asana or posture has a corresponding psychological feeling. We call this bhav in Sanskrit, in yogic language. Bhav is the feeling state, the emotional resonance of a pose, right? That is so important to feel and embody. Otherwise, it's not yoga. Right? I'm going to bring your fingertips on the chair or table, and I'm going to just go for straighter. If you feel like you're too wide, just step it in, no problem. Right? Inhale. You're talking to your hamstrings. Are you ready, guys? You're talking to them and saying, how are you doing? Are you ready to go a little deeper? Breathe. Inhale. Bending and straighten. The body really likes this alternation. It really helps kind of prepare the muscles. You don't want to tear the hamstrings, so it's important to approach with respect, especially if it's been a long time since you've stretched last. All right, so you're on your fingertips. You can come down to your hands, bending and straightening. Come down to your forearms, bending and straightening. Maybe if you're regular yoga practitioner, then you can bring your elbows on the chair. You can get your head down. Got a little close, so you can get your elbows on, palms together, and drop your head under your arms. Wherever you are, be 100% committed, right? So one thing that yoga teaches is to organize your energies, your breath, your awareness, your physiology, your emotions, your psychology. Everything has to move in the same direction. Yoga means union, and that's really the meaning of it. But most people, yoga instructors included, our energies are not moving in one direction. We have all kinds of conflicting thoughts and emotions, right? So this is the training. We try to coax, right, into the mind to stay in a single point, the stretch sensation. All right, now let's step it forward for a sec. How are we doing? Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. So now let's free up the hips a little bit, right? So again, the pelvis is the reservoir. And I'm sorry, if you're in an office doing this, you might want to close the doors, just, because you're just going to do just a simple moving of the hips, because I know it's a silly move. It looks like a little, funny, move, but it's so important to open up See, it's massaging where the thigh bones fit into your hips. You can bring a little attitude to it if you want, or just do it like an exercise, but it's like, like a little hula dance. Good. And it's really kind of releasing the stiffness in the hip ball and socket joint of the hips. Okay, now try just like hiking up one hip, bend that knee, and it's like just let that outer hip open up. Maybe stretch your arms up and feel this whole area stretch. Definitely not a not a typical yoga move, but come back up. All right, so hike the other hip up, bend your knee, and this is the IT band. This is the glutes. If you're gonna grab the left wrist with your right hand, I'm going into my left leg. It really is a nice lengthening of the side body as well as the outer hips. Because the other way to open this is a more classic way, but it's a little challenging, right, to do these poses. So I'll definitely show that to you, but just you can simply do it by leaning in, right, and just lengthening that whole side, and you'll see how much we're holding in this fascia of the outer hips. Survival-related emotions, security-related tension, and just releasing this by simple hip moves. Your colleagues might be saying, "What are you doing?" Saying, "It's Friday, man." All right, so now let's add a little twist action as well. Now, I'll show you kind of an office chair version, and I'll show you a little bit more yoga version. So I'm sure you've done this, right? In an office, you're sitting cross-legged, whatever, you're drinking your coffee, you're typing. So this is a natural position for you. But I want you to move away from the backrest and sit so that your feet can be flat on the ground, right? And you can have your other hand be on the fingertips so you're not leaning into it. And you're gonna stretch your left arm out. This is your sacrum, and sacrum is the sacred energy reservoir, right? The sacred energy reservoir, you're gonna draw up the spine and breathe as you actually cross it over. If you have a back on your chair, that's a bonus because then you can use the backrest and really help kind of like churn the rotation here. You get a beautiful stretch through this right side of the chest and just try to stay at least 3 breaths. On the inhale, you want to feel the vertical axis. On the exhale, rotate. Try to ground that left hip. And we come back around. So while we're here, let's add that outer hip release. So you're going to just bend the knee, open the knee to the side, flex the foot. This helps to protect the knee and bring more awareness to the hip. And just bring your thumbs, right, wedge it into the crease of the hips. And take a little happy, open-hearted back bend, like, ah. With the open heart, we're gonna tip forward, tip forward. So now if you have that desk in front of you, it's perfect because then you can use your hands on the desk and walk it forward, and you will start to feel a definite stretch deep in that right piriformis region where your right thigh and right hip meet. And just hold it here for a few breaths. Put the spotlight of your attention exactly where the stretch is most intense. Put the linear spotlight of your conscious attention on the primordial intelligence of your cells in the connective tissues, in the muscles, in the tendons, and just be a pure light of awareness. No judgment, no pushing, no trying to change anything, total acceptance, because the present moment is inevitable. The present moment is here, and you just have to face it and dive into it, right? Resisting it does no good. So if you wanted to get super fancy, you could do something like elbow to the sole and palms together. Then your colleagues will really go like, what the hell? But this is a great way to just kind of build on that stretch and add a little twist as well. Just a bonus. Okay, shake it out, let it go. Let's do the other side. So right, left leg on top, left fingertips behind. We're gonna lengthen up, inhale, as you exhale, cross it over, right? So ground the right sitting bone down, right? So in any twist, the foundation stability is so important. So try to ground through the sole, ground through those 2 sit bones like you put nails down, and then reach your right arm up and exhale, cross over. Take a nice deep breath into the lift, exhale, rotate. Breathing in, exhale, twist. So if you got the benefit of the back of the chair, you can really churn. Inhale, belly expands. And I'm sorry, if you just had lunch, it's like you're feeling that lunch You're helping it digest, so it's okay. Breathe, lengthen, exhale, twist. This is not the worst twist you can do. Like, it's because it's long. You know, if you had your leg up here and you're compressing, it might be uncomfortable, but this is keeping the digestive tract long, so it's okay. One more breath. And rotate. Inhale, unwind out of it. Now let's bend your knee, open the knee to the side. And again, try to sit with both sit bones evenly towards the front edge of your mat. And let's take a nice, happy, open-hearted back bend, like it's Friday. Thank you, Lord. Thumbs at the hip crease and pitch forward. Lead with your heart. That's literal and also figurative. Lead with your heart. Fingertips on the chair or palms on the chair. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. Drop your head inside your arms. Right? You let gravity help you. Sometimes we go with gravity. Sometimes we're lifting out of gravity. But we got to get conversant in our relationship with gravity because it's a constant on our planet. Yes? So on the exhale, give in to gravity. On the inhale, lengthen from the lower back and belly button all the way to the fingertips and crown of the neck. Try to get long. Good. Now that we have the length, you can, if you did it to the other side, you can try the bonus. Elbow goes into the center of the sole, right palm onto the right fist into the left palm and twist. Breathe. Then if it feels like too much, just, okay, you can skip it. All right, we come back. Check it out. So, how are you doing, guys? All right. So, let's end with. So we said we did 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's about 5 moves. But another important thing is right here in the front of the hips and front of the psoas. So let's do one where we stretch. In the center of the thigh is an energy point, a marma point called urvi. Urvi literally means energy, right? And so the big muscles of the thigh hold a lot of energy, right? So we're going to stand here, have something, you can hold on to. I'm going to draw the foot and draw your heel close. Lift the core. Okay, so see if you can transfer your weight to your right leg and let the right arm be the pillar. Let the foot push into your hand and draw the heel into the buttock. Good, and maybe, again, as an extra credit here, if you want to try bringing if you're not too close to your desk, you can try bringing your knee all the way up to your chest. And so you're using that proprioceptive intelligence of your toes. Try the other side. So fingertips on the chair, you're going to draw the foot, hold about an inch below, knees close together. So try to have, if your knee's like this, try to align your knee. And you can try at least 3 breaths, drawing the heel close to your glute. You can bring your knee to your chest and release that lower back. All right, so let's end with a little centering here. Gather your prayer hands, inhale, and interlacing your hands round the back. Right, so the body's energy centers has the both frontal and dorsal aspects. And as you inhale, try to shine both the front and the back and the sides evenly. And as you exhale, expand. Like Leonardo da Vinci's The Man, just expand. One last time, inhale, gather, interlace, exhale, curl the tail under and round. Open up that lower, middle, upper back. Inhale, root through your feet, push the ceiling higher. And as you exhale, you're clearing the energy field. Send it out, send it out, send it out. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, and abundance, well, for anybody, right? Abundance is so important. So your energy field is so important for attracting abundance into your life. If your energy field is full of resistant, conflicting energy, it's like you have a lot of barriers for the abundance to enter you. So it's very important to, make your field radiant. And again, this work of yoga, so the physical yoga helps, but then the other technologies of yoga where we get the mind, the heart, the energy body all working, moving in the same direction. and then creating a certain harmony and coherence in our being, a vibrational coherence in our being, so that we're able to attract. So when your energy is high in prana, then you become an amazing magnet for, for all that abundance. And so I'll be teaching the practices, the special meditations that will help you also kind of shift out of that box. We sometimes get stuck in, like, if you have chronic problems, or problems you've been living with long time, limitations you've been living with long time, then you have built up this kind of pattern of thinking and feeling about a certain issue, and it becomes like a cage, and we can't see or think beyond that. And so it's important to shift out of that into another reality, because in the quantum field, so infinite possibilities exist, right? But if we have a learned familiarity with, a strong affinity with that limiting frequency, that memory will not allow us to transition into the frequency of the solution, right? And so I wanted to teach this workshop to really give people the technology, the inner technology, to shift from the box of the problem into the box of the solution. And I'll be doing a workshop coming up in September 17th. There's just a few spots left. It's going to be in a beautiful mansion in New Jersey. Also, if you're interested in future, if you live somewhere else, not New Jersey is not comfortable for you, and it's in September 17th is not working for you, I want to speak to you still about possibility of just opening up that vortex for you, so that your energy is flowing in the same direction, physically, the physical vitality supporting everything you are about. So if you'd like to book a session with me, I have a little session here called visionarysession.com. You can book your free session. Normally, clients pay me up to $300 for these sessions, but it is this month I'm just opening up 3 spots for complimentary session. Actually, one person took that spot already, so I have 2 spots left. If you're interested, it's a 45-minute session. I clear my calendar for that 45 minutes, and I show up for you just as if you were my paid client. So take advantage of it if you feel that this would really support you. Also, if you are interested in my retreat, you're welcome to just check it out. This is the page for the retreat, visiondayexperience.com/NJ for New Jersey, because it's in a beautiful mansion. It's on a Saturday, September 17th. And we'll be meditating. My partner, Krishna, will be playing a beautiful sound healing sitar music, and we'll be hanging out by the pool and, getting to know each other. So if you're on Instagram right now, I have the link in my bio for this retreat, so check it out. And I want to thank you so much for joining me for this beautiful Friday and opening your body for some anti-aging moves. And hope to be continuing this. Maybe next Friday will be difficult, but on a regular basis, Friday and Wednesdays, I'll be coming live to share with you some of the nuggets from my visionary yoga journey. So thanks so much for being with me, and wishing you a wonderful Friday and a beautiful weekend. Lots of love. Take care for now.